Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. This time we're breaking down a Joe Rogan Experience episode that really got people talking.
Yeah, this one was with Elon Musk.
You know, the JRE, those long, free-flowing conversations that can go, well, basically anywhere.
Right, right.
So this one, recorded in 2024, just weeks before that crazy U.S. election.
Oh, yeah. Things are getting pretty heated, and then Elon kind of jumps into the mix and drops some serious truth bombs about his political views, predictions, the whole 9 yards.
It's like he decided to stir the pot big time. And of course, Rogan's right there with him, pushing back, questioning Musk's ideas. They get into this, like, fiery debate about everything.
Censorship, the future of AI, squirrels. I mean, you name it, they probably touched on it.
And that's why we're here, to unpack this marathon conversation.
We'll be connecting the dots, analyzing what Musk said, trying to figure out what it all means for, well, all of us, really.
So the elephant in the room right off the bat is freedom of speech, especially online. Musk's super vocal about it being under attack.
He uses the example of Trump getting kicked off Twitter as evidence. Imagine that one of the most powerful people in the world silenced on a platform that was supposed to be all about free speech.
Right. And Musk paints a pretty dark picture, accusing the Democratic Party of pushing misinformation and shutting down anyone who disagrees with them.
He even talks about, like, the U.S. becoming a one-party state, some pretty strong accusations.
Yeah, and Rogan doesn't just sit there and nod along. He challenges Musk on these claims, asks for proof, makes him consider other viewpoints. It's a debate that everyone's having right now about where the line is between protecting free speech and stopping harmful stuff online.
Definitely.
And then Musk gets into his own political journey. Says he used to be a Democrat, but now he feels like the party's gone too far with what he calls, like, straight-up lies.
He brings up that thing about Trump supposedly calling for Liz Cheney's execution.
Musk is adamant that it never happened.
He dives into what Trump actually said and suggests it was completely twisted to fit a narrative.
It's like he's saying, look, judge for yourself. And that leads right into why he bought Twitter, or X, as he renamed it.
Yeah, he says he had to buy it to save free speech because it was being stifled. Like, it was a rescue mission for open dialogue.
But of course, things didn't exactly go smoothly.
Not at all.
He really goes after organizations like the Center for Countering Digital Hate, even calls them a scam. Claims they were the ones behind those advertiser boycotts on X, pressuring companies to pull their ads.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Musk suggests that whoever wins this election could decide the fate of X, like whether it gets shut down or not. He even compares the situation to Stalin's era, which, I mean, that's pretty intense.
Rogan definitely raised an eyebrow at that one. Musk seems to see himself as a target, and not just from activists. He brings up that whole Department of Justice lawsuit against SpaceX.
The one where they said SpaceX wouldn't hire asylum seekers?
Right. Musk says they can't legally hire people who aren't permanent residents because of the type of work they do, and he sees the lawsuit as a direct attack, the government coming after him.
And he doesn't stop there. He ties it all into this idea of the government overreaching, getting too powerful, especially about gun control. He's very clear about that. If there's even a tiny chance of a tyrannical government in the future, people need to be able to defend themselves.
So buying Twitter, becoming X, it wasn't just a business move for him.
More like a statement.
He wanted to protect free speech, create a truly open platform for discussion.
He highlights community notes as proof.
You know, that feature where users can add context and fact checks to posts? Musk thinks it's an awesome tool to fight misinformation.
He emphasizes it's the community doing the work, potentially millions of people scrutinizing stuff, debating what's true, and he's a big fan of the open source aspect, complete transparency.
He even says he can't delete notes, not even from his own posts. Big difference from what he calls legacy media, which he basically says just shoves information down your throat, no room for debate.
Right. He even calls out specific media people and outlets, accuses them of being puppets for the Democratic Party.
Rogan does push back a bit, offers other explanations for things, like how the media treated Trump during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Suggests Trump brought some of it on himself, you know, with the birther thing and all that.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Freedom of speech, political battles, Musk's distrust of certain institutions.
But hold on tight, because next, we're going deep into artificial intelligence. Musk has some pretty strong and sometimes controversial opinions about where that's all headed.
Like, really strong opinions, you won't believe this stuff. Musk paints this future where robots actually outnumber humans. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that for a second. But for now, let's switch gears a bit and get philosophical.
Yeah, Elon gets deep. He's got some pretty unique even controversial ideas about what consciousness even is and like where it comes from.
Yeah.
Almost like he's redefining what it means to be human.
He doesn't think it's just us, biological beings. He's convinced that AI, if it's advanced enough, could also become conscious. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Totally. And he doesn't stop there. He brings up this whole simulation theory, like we're all living in a giant computer program like the Matrix.
And it does make you think, right? What if our reality is just a simulation? What does that mean for us? Our purpose, our understanding of everything.
Whoa. Okay, maybe we should come back down to Earth for a minute. Let's talk space exploration, because of course you can't talk about Elon without talking about space. This is where he really lights up.
He's totally convinced that we have to become a multiplanetary species. Like, it's essential for humanity's survival, not just for adventure or science, but to safeguard our future.
He believes it's the only way to avoid extinction. An asteroid impact, a pandemic, nuclear war. If we're spread out, we have a better chance.
He's all in on SpaceX and colonizing Mars, talking about building a self-sustaining city on this, barren planet. He even jokes, I think it's a joke, that he wants to die on Mars, just not on impact.
Classic Elon, always pushing the limits. But it's not just about escaping Earth.
Right.
He talks about exploring other places too, like Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. They think it has a huge ocean under the ice. Might even have life.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question, are we alone in the universe? Musk seems to think it's pretty likely that life exists somewhere else, given how vast space is, all those stars and planets.
He says, sure, we haven't found definitive proof yet, but maybe we're just not looking in the right way, with the right tech. Who knows what we could discover?
He even talks about using AI to analyze data from space, maybe find signals or patterns that we'd miss otherwise, like searching for a needle in a cosmic haystack.
But here's the thing. What if we find proof? Like undeniable evidence of aliens? What then?
Musk talks about the impact that kind of discovery would have on everything. Society, religion, how we see ourselves in the universe. It would be a total game changer.
He even jokes about aliens seeing our current political climate and being like, nope, hard pass. But seriously, he emphasizes approaching contact with caution and respect. Not assuming every alien civilization is going to be friendly.
Smart. He points out that human history is full of conflict when different cultures meet. First contact could be amazing, but it could also be really dangerous.
And here's where it gets meta again.
Yeah.
Remember the simulation theory?
Oh, yeah.
Musk brings it back, this time in the context of aliens.
Yeah.
What if a super advanced civilization created our simulation? It's like levels of reality within reality.
Mind-blowing, right?
And he goes even further. Speculates about consciousness existing outside of physical matter. It's not just brains, it's something more fundamental, something we don't even understand yet.
He admits he doesn't have all the answers, but encourages us to keep an open mind, to embrace the mystery of what we don't know, which is, a refreshing perspective in a world that often demands certainty.
It's a good reminder that we're just scratching the surface of what's out there.
Yeah.
And with all these advancements in AI and space exploration, who knows what incredible or maybe terrifying discoveries are waiting for us.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this conversation so fascinating. Musk isn't just predicting the future, he's actively shading it.
Okay, so we've gone from consciousness and simulations to space exploration and alien contact. It's been a wild ride.
Definitely. But we're not done yet. Next, we're getting into Musk's thoughts on the future of technology, the role of government, and what really drives him, what makes this guy tick. Stick with us. Welcome back. It's been quite the journey. So we've explored free speech, artificial intelligence, even the possibility of living in a simulation. But as we wrap up our deep dive into the mind of Elon Musk, let's shift gears a bit.
Yeah, let's talk about the future. Because when it comes to technology, Musk sees it as a double-edged sword. Amazing potential to solve big problems, but it could also create new ones. He's not afraid to get a little dark, even if it makes people uncomfortable.
He's talking about genetic engineering, nanotechnology, even merging human consciousness with AI becoming normal, everyday things. It sounds straight out of science fiction, but when he talks about it, you almost believe it's just around the corner.
Right, like we're on the verge of rewriting our DNA, building things atom by atom, maybe even uploading our minds into the digital world. It's both exciting and kind of scary.
And that fear definitely comes out when he talks about artificial intelligence. He's been saying for years that AI could spiral out of control, and he's not backing down from that stance.
He's totally convinced that if we don't develop AI responsibly, it could pose a real threat to humanity. He even suggests, get this, we might need some government regulation to prevent a runaway AI scenario.
Which is kind of surprising coming from him.
Right.
He's usually all about less government, more private sector innovation.
Yeah, he's a big believer in that. But with AI, even he seems to think some guardrails are necessary. It's like he's walking this tightrope between pushing the limits of what's possible and making sure we don't create something we can't control.
So what's driving him? Why take on these massive, almost impossible challenges? Why risk failing so publicly?
He talks about feeling a deep sense of responsibility for the future. He really believes he has a role to play in shaping it, and it's not about money or fame, it's something bigger.
Yeah, he sees his work sustainable energy, space exploration, AI safety as these crucial steps to make sure humanity survives and thrives. It's almost like he sees himself as like a guardian of our future.
Which is a lot of pressure, but he
Mhm.
seems to embrace it, even compares himself to a gardener, tending to the seeds of the future. It's a pretty humble analogy from someone who's often portrayed as this larger-than-life figure.
Definitely. And he shows that beyond all the ambition and the tech, there's this genuine desire to make a positive impact on the world. It's not just about disrupting industries, it's about building a better future.
Of course, not everyone buys into Musk's vision. He's a polarizing figure. Some people say he's too ambitious, even reckless.
True. But even his biggest critics have to admit he's a force to be reckoned with. He challenges assumptions, pushes boundaries, makes us ask the really big questions about where we're headed.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I think that's the key takeaway. Musk believes we're living in the most important time in human history.
Mm.
The choices we make now will have huge consequences.
He sees us at a crossroads, facing challenges and opportunities unlike anything we've ever seen. And he truly believes we have the power to shape our destiny.
So after listening to all this, I got to ask, what do you think? What role do you want to play in building the future? What kind of world do you want to leave behind? It's something to think about.
Absolutely. And if you want to hear more from Musk himself, be sure to check out the full Joe Rogan Experience episode. We'll link it in the show notes.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive, exploring another topic that's shaping our world. Until then, stay curious, keep asking questions, and like Elon might say, keep pushing the boundaries.